So yeah, it was just like that when I came to it, like
Right.
absolutely no wall or fence. So here is a lovely section of wall that Andy has just finished rebuilding for us. And then this section here by this gateway, it's the section that needs some work. Just the posts are rotted and old and no good really.
I think you might be right.
So it's that time of year where lambs tend to find every single gap and weak bit of fencing that you've got, and they sort of climb on walls. And so we have been patching bits up here and there where the lambs have discovered they can climb up. We've just found another bit here where Nick is, but I'm fairly sure people have even told me there's basically a footpath that runs across the field behind me, and to take a shortcut through these trees, people just trespass over the fence. They also go into that field there, and I think that they've squashed the fence down to climb over it. That's what it looks like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You've seen people going over here though, haven't you, that are lost on walks and stuff?
I have, yeah. Yeah, climbing the walls.
And it is a bit of a summertime thing. You get more tourists about and they can't always find where they're going. Last year when Nick was doing the fence line up here in that field, he said to some guys, you're not on the footpath, you know, you need to go back. And they just trampled the wall whilst you were there, didn't they?
Yeah. We'd shut off our hay meadows and I noticed some people sort of hanging around the gate, and so as I approached them, they'd already climbed over to thinking that they could walk up that way, and they were up there trampling the hay meadows, and when they climbed over, half the wall fell down, and so great, thank you.
As a farmer, you get told that you need a sign for everything. Signs here, there and everywhere. It's the same on the campsite. You need a sign for this, you need a sign for that. But actually what we need is for people to use their common sense.
Yeah, and also what we find is that if we make signs, people tell us we've got too many signs.
Yeah, we've had people saying that they don't appreciate signs are patronising and whatever else. So you definitely can't win in this situation. But we can definitely make this bit of fencing more secure. But obviously it's one of those things that you have to find the time to do and the resources to do, and both of those things can be difficult to come by in farming. The fact that apparently, you know, we have to build fences to keep out dogs, people, you know, everything. It's not about our livestock, it's about trying to keep out people that don't want to follow the country code.
So yeah, just looking at this stretch of fence here, I think it'd be worth doing because it would secure our livestock, but also potentially keep people from climbing over the wall and into the field that way. There's a footpath gate there, but for some reason they climb over this wall from the woodland.
Dad used to say that nettles were good because they discourage people from trespassing. And the footpath runs across this field here, which is not ours, that's our neighbour's field. So we have this footpath gate, and it is, what, you know, widely used, and it goes across here. So it's a bit of a crap one really in terms of fencing it or whatever you want to do with it.
Sort of short-term solution. The problem we've got is that there's nothing to strain the wire to, so if we could get a big post in at the one end and a big post at the other, we could strain some wire and maybe use these existing posts just to tack it to for now, and at least the wire will be tied.
Not much to tempt lambs into here anyway. Are you enjoying that?
Yeah.
Greasy stick.
Yeah.
So Nick has greased the shaft. Are they helping or not helping? The sheep were very interested in the branches that we cut off. The fence line is under trees, so it just meant that in order to get under, or even close to being under with the tractor and machinery, we needed to just trim off the low-hanging branches. So the sheep were helping eat all the leaves, and then Nick's getting to work with the post knocker. So this is the corner post at the other end of the fence line that we are starting, and this one was a little bit trickier. Again, the low-hanging branches were perhaps causing a bit of a problem, but Nick was trying to work around them. Just meant there wasn't much head height, so we had to start off knocking very gently. I wasn't convinced that the post was going in, but Nick said it was. I'm always a bit wary to trim trees and hedges back too extensively because I know that the animals do use them for shelter from the weather, so I think it's important not to be too aggressive. So that's the 2 corner posts in on that particular stretch. Then moving on to another area that we want to work on. This is a narrow gateway. It's the type of gate that's just been tied shut for ages. It'd be really handy to have it as a working gateway, so we're going to work on that one and put a new gateway in. We're on limestone ground here, so it does tend to be quite rocky. We quite often hit rock, so we use the rock spike as the first entry into the ground and then put the post in after that. As you may already know, we first got the post knocker last year, and it's absolutely transformed the way that we can do fencing on the farm and makes it a hell of a lot easier to do a really good job. And I think Nick is quite passionate about trying to upgrade the fencing to a high standard where possible, and the post knocker really helps with this. So that's another corner post in, and we're going to come back and work on this area at another time. So we're just up at the Highlands, as you can probably see. That's where we put them a trough in, and we're just putting them a garlic and salt lick. But the main reason that we're up here, other than to check the cows, is to check what needs to be done with this fence, which is leaning rather badly. In some places it's leaning really badly. So we thought we could make some improvements to strengthen it. They like the garlic salt. It's probably not going to last very long, is it?
The easy way would be to literally to prop it up and put one, you know, at an angle in the ground that you fix to it, and it'll just hold it up.
What we discussed before, Nick, was putting some posts in the opposite side, so that on the other side to the wire, and then using the existing wire and sheep net to like up against the post, so we don't need to put as many posts in, and then utilise what's already there.
Yeah.
We do get comments that act as though money is no object. I think is that the right turn of phrase?
Yeah.
Like, money is no object, but of course money is an object. Money is an issue, and how much we can afford to put into fencing rented land that we don't even know long term what the agreement terms are would be foolish, really. So we kind of need to make it stock proof and stock secure without spending a fortune. Actually, Nick, something that we agree on.
Yeah.
So the cows have been up here for a week, enjoying it up here. There's 12 of them up here. That's it. It's not very often I can get Nick to agree to a bodge job, but on this occasion we're going to bodge it, aren't we, Nick?
Yeah.
And when I say bodge it, what I really mean is not start from scratch. We're just going to do what we can to repair the existing fence line, because it'll be faster and it'll do a good enough job for what we need. Particularly because this is a rented piece of land, it's not the highest priority to spend a lot of time and money on it, but also we want it to be stock proof. And we have lots of areas that need our attention with fencing, so it is a case of trying to do a good enough job and then keep maintaining the other areas that also need work. It's really rocky ground up here. We actually tried tapping a post in without the rock spike and it split the post, so we have to use the rock spike, and that just means moving the fence out the way. There's enough slack in it in order to do that. And I'm quite happy with how the job is going. If you remember, in the wintertime we had a problem. One of the Highlands got over the wire, over the other side of the fence, and so we knew since the wintertime that we needed to work on this area. The Highlands have been off the moor for a bit, but they've just gone back on, so we know it's vital that we make the stock secure. And so it's good that we've got the time to do it and crack on and get it looking a lot better. I remember doing fencing with my dad, and he would use like a bar, a spike, and just be going at it as hard as possible, and it was always really hard work. He would be sweating and it would be very time consuming, and I think that it became quite an intimidating task as he was getting older, and I understand why, because it is so physical. So it's great that this doesn't wear out your body and you can just get the job done quite efficiently. Definitely saves us a lot of time as well.
We decided to leave the existing posts in place. They're not really doing any harm. It's extra time and work to take them off, so we've just left them there for now. So this video just shows what we got up to on that one day, but we have got more fencing to do, so I will show how we progress with the projects that we've identified and started. But for now, it was really good to get the Highlands secure on the moor, and we will have to come back and do a little bit more on this fence line.
Give it a wobble then.